What's up, peeps? Michael Destroys here, and I want to talk about making some fucking mistakes. There's a saying that goes something like, if you're not making any mistakes, you're not getting anything done. In my opinion, that's probably about as close to the truth as you're going to get. Making mistakes is crucial to getting anything done. It's how you learn to start with. So nobody's born knowing how to do anything right the first time. Nobody's born knowing how to do everything or knowing everything about everything or knowing what is right or knowing all of these different types of things. You have to try things out. You have to go out and learn something. You have to explore. You have to get yourself out there. Through that process of exploring, getting yourself out there, trying things, doing things, you're going to do things wrong. You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to do the wrong thing. Through that process of doing things, learning things, growing, you're going to make some mistakes. And the reason is because nobody is born knowing how to do all of those things. So you're going to try some things the wrong way. You're going to try the wrong thing. You're going to learn the wrong thing. You're going to have the wrong opinion. You're going to, take a job that ended up being a dead-end job. You're going to date somebody who was the wrong person for you to date. You're going to burn your dinner. You're going to, hopefully not drive wrong and get in an accident, but it happens. It happens to people. That sort of thing happens. And certain things they're just going to be mistakes, and you got to learn from them. And so in order to get out in the world, in order to do things, whether it's start your own business, do an art project, try a new job, learn something, try to learn how to learn something, anything, there's going to be a process of making mistakes. And so you can't be afraid of making mistakes. You just have to do it. You have to make some fucking mistakes, and you have to just accept that it's just going to happen. For example, I am currently editing my first video as I'm recording this. Not at the same time. But I'm kind of unhappy with how it's turning out. There's certain things that I don't like about it. Whatever. I got to make mistakes. I got to just put it out there. I got to do it wrong. I got to improve. Do better the next time. That's just the name of the game. You make the fucking mistakes. You move on. You learn. You grow. You improve. There are two paralyzing things, in my opinion, that cause people to avoid making mistakes. And the first one is really easy and simple. It's like the fear of a bad consequence. The second one, not so easy to understand or to overcome, which is the fear of perfection. Oh God, I stuttered. I'll have to edit that out. Okay, so the fear of bad consequences, it's pretty basic, right? You don't want to make a mistake because the consequences of the mistake will be some sort of negative thing that you don't want. You're going to date the wrong person, therefore, there's going to be like time wasted or a painful experience, or you're taken advantage of in some way or something else, whatever. That's just going to happen. You're going to start a business. It's going to fail. You're going to go to college. I hope you don't, but you're going to go to college and get the wrong degree or whatever. That's going to be a whole separate video. Don't go to college. But, well, there's a couple exceptions, but generally don't go to college. Anyway, there's going to be whatever. You're going to try to learn something. Let's say you're going to take a class, and maybe it's a waste of time, a waste of money. It's not something that you liked. You're going to try to learn a skill, but then you're going to mess up doing the thing. You might hurt yourself. You might waste your time. You might not use that thing anymore, whatever. There's going to be negative consequences that, oh, that was a mistake. I did this thing wrong. It was a mistake, whatever. That's pretty obvious. There are potential negative consequences to basically everything. And if you don't want negative consequences, then I guess you just better stay on your couch. However, I've heard some arguments recently that maybe there's some negative things to just sitting on the couch too. So maybe just stay in bed. But the point is that you can't be afraid to fail. You can't be afraid to make those mistakes. You have to get out there. You have to make the mistakes. You just try the thing that you want to do. Just try it. Just put it together. Just do it. It doesn't matter if there's going to be a bad consequence. Nut up, accept the consequence, learn from it, try again. Try something else, go somewhere else, do something else, whatever. Try it. You have to try it. That's life. If you're not making any mistakes, you're not living. The second one, the fear of perfection. This one is devastating and is very paralyzing. And I've experienced actually a lot of this, more so really than the fear of mistakes, but like the fear of perfection. If I'm going to do something, it has to be perfect. If I'm going to try something, I need to try it the exact right way. If I'm going to whatever I'm going to put together, I'm going to make sure to do it exactly right. I want to make sure that, if it's some sort of artistic project, that, the end result is going to conform exactly to my vision. And, I've spent a large portion of my adult life learning how to draw portraits, landscapes, and there's a certain aspect of that beats it out of you, where like, okay, you just have to accept that you're going to do a shitty drawing, and you're going to do a little bit better tomorrow, and then in 3 months you're going to hang your drawings up next to each other, and you're going to have improved so much. But then there's also a certain aspect to that where once you realize that you're at a certain level, you kind of expect every time that you're going to perform at that level, which you always want to be performing at your best, at least, well, I do. And so you have this kind of expectation of like, oh, well, I'm definitely going to hit, the top of my range on this drawing or this illustration or this project or whatever it is. So it's almost like this desire for perfection can paralyze you, where things have to be perfect. Like I told myself for a long time, I went through a period where I didn't draw at all. And I kept telling myself, oh, I'll practice when I have the time to practice. I'll practice when I can make sure that it's going to be like a good practice, like where I really have the time, not only today for 30 minutes, but like, for a month for 30 minutes. That way I get some substantial results. And so as you can imagine, there was always the excuse of like, well, I don't know if I'm really going to have the time to delve into this. And, I did that for probably like a year and a half where I just didn't draw at all, did nothing creative, because I kept telling myself, oh yeah, I'm going to practice when I have the time. I'm going to practice when I can really put the effort in. I'll practice when I can make sure it's sustainable, this, that, and the other. And that can be ultra paralyzing. You just have to accept that perfection is not attainable. You have to accept that you're not going to hit the top of your range every time. And that's why you try to do better. You try to learn. You try to execute better, so that way your range of where you're performing at increases. And I'm sure you'll probably see that through these videos, that like the first ones are going to be a little bit more stale. The first ones are going to be a little less energetic, or maybe I'm not going to be talking right or whatever. And it'll improve over time because I'm trying to do that. I'm analyzing myself and I'm doing it. But I'm also potentially putting together some shitty videos because whatever, I'm just starting and my range is not very high, as high as I would like it to be anyway, let's say. So you just have to accept that. You have to accept that the negative consequences are possible. You have to accept that perfection is not possible. You got to find that middle ground, and you just got to fucking do it. And it doesn't matter what it takes. If you want it, you got to figure out how to do it. You got to not give a fuck about messing up. You got to not give a fuck about being perfect, and you just got to make some fucking mistakes. So get out there and whoop some ass. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, comment some motivation in the bottom. Go get it, peeps.